Now, it's important to know that we are currently in the midst of the timeline that the Hopi spoke of in the seven thunders. All right, we are in the midst of the sixth thunder, where it makes mentions of the star people returning. All right, a lot of you chosen ones and star seeds are going to begin to see more activity in the skies. All right, some of you may be visited. All right, some of you may even be abducted and mistaken for a dream. All right, just recently, me and my goddess seen these entities. We seen some plasma light ships, which I'm going to show you. All right, it's important to know that everything they're telling us with the 3-eye atlas is simply a warning for more of these entities actually being seen in our atmosphere. Check this out.
That's not a plane. That's too high too. That's shit.
It was flying at an altitude way higher than any plane could get. And if you notice, you will see a little trail of energy behind it. This thing was moving very fast.
See it right there.
See that energy that's trailing behind it? This was a plasma light ship. As you begin to ascend, more of these beings are going to begin to visit those that are chosen and elected. All right? Those that vibrate in a certain resonance. This is because they're very interested in our ascension process. Here's another example of us viewing plasma light ships.
What is these three lights connected right here?
I know what they is.
There's gotta be some type of UFO activity that we witnessing right here.
That's exactly what it is.
All in alignment too.
Now remember, all right, all of us have extraterrestrial genetics. This whole planet was a huge eugenics testing facility, all right? So as we elevate in consciousness, as we elevate in frequency, and begin to decalcify, activate our pineal gland and things of that nature, more of these beings are going to begin to actually visit us, all right? Whether we see them in the sky, whether we see them in dreams, this is going to be something that you're going to notice, all right, Starseed? Facts. We are currently in a timeline where everything that the ancients made mention of is now actually coming into fruition, all right? Again, the Hopis made mention of the star families returning, all right? The Dogon tribe had all of the constellations and cosmos mapped out due to information that they received from entities from Sirius A, Sirius B, and Sirius C. All right, the Amazulu, all right, made mention of beings that actually came from the skies. All right, now Amazulu mean the sky people. All right, so there's talks of the shaman Credo Mutwa making mention of the whole Zulu tribe actually coming from the cosmos. All right, so your genetics aren't what you've been told. All right, they are in the textbooks. The textbooks will never tell you that your bloodline actually descended from the stars. All right, and what they call junk DNA is actually dormant extraterrestrial DNA that we have access to. All right, once we reach certain levels of consciousness, we have the ability of pretty much lengthening our telomeres and accessing this so-called junk or dormant DNA. Now, one thing that's important to know is that we actually been involved in a huge experiment. All right, all of the food, all of the emulsifiers, all of the carcinogens, all of the bioengineered, genetically modified organisms were all tests. All right, simply for the simple fact that they know we have the ability of accessing this genetic sequence, and because they fear that, they utilize things like chemtrails. They utilize things like atrazine, glyphosate, paraquat. They utilize toxic metals like cadmium, barium, lead, as well as aluminum, which is a byproduct of fluoride. They utilize neurotoxins. All right, these are all things that pretty much keep us from accessing this genetic template. Elixirs like monatomic gold are great Ayurvedic alchemical substances that combat these nefarious attacks. It's an orbitally rearranging monatomic element that removes microplastics as well as deceptive nanotechnology. It amplifies brain cognition, regenerates damaged neurons, and is great for things like astral projection as well as lucid dreaming. I do have the Ormus 24 karat gold available on Holistic Remedies link in bio. I received a download from Spirit that told me another way that they're actually telepathically severing our connection with our cosmic kin is via the 5G, 6G, and 7G, all right? All of the technology that they have us around. This is the reason why everyone has the internet on their cell phones and are encapsulated in the algorithm, okay? Not to mention that these cell phones emit blue light radiation, which has adverse effects on the pineal gland, all right? And we know that the pineal gland's job is to actually secrete healthy melanin. It's imperative that we have items on us and around our home that actually have the ability of protecting us from this omnipresent radiation. Organite crystal pyramid structures are great energetic alchemists and literally have the ability of absorbing harmful radiation and converting it to positive orgone ether. These crystals are great to store in places where there's potential harmful radiation. You can place them on your nightstand to absorb the additional energy from your cell phone. You can place them near your television. You can place them at your job, especially if you work an office job where you're in front of a computer a lot. All right. They're also great for spiritual protection, which means you can also keep them in the car. They're beautiful, very affordable, and I do have them available on Holistic Remedies link in bio. A lot of times when you hear ringing in your ear, it's because the deceptive radiation is actually intercepting the transmission from your cosmic star family. This is one of the main reasons they even developed this technology in the first place. They told y'all it was for cell phones, but in reality, it was because they knew that eventually our telepathy would turn back on, and they wanted a way to distort our harmonic connection and resonance with the ether. So anytime you get that ringing in your ear, this is because they're scrambling the transmission that your star family's sending you so you don't receive the signal clearly. And whenever this happens, instead of getting the message, you hear a ringing instead. Utilization of tools like copper magnetic bracelets are also great for combating deceptive, nefarious, omnipresent radiation, okay? They have something called RF shielding, which blocks you from radio frequencies. Wearing copper bracelets also amplify your red blood cell count. And when you amplify your red blood cell count, that improves oxygenation. And when you improve oxygenation, that improves circulation, which in turn amplifies your heart chakra. And with your heart chakra being a capacitor, that amplifies your morphogenetic field, increasing your aura. The auric field typically stretch out about 3 feet. But when you wear copper magnetic bracelets, it actually will amplify and increase the size of your auric field. Once you increase the size of your auric field, you then tap into the central spine, aka the cosmic light channel. This cosmic light channel is a conduit for energetic codes of ancient remembrance, all right? These ancient codes of remembrance then trigger and emanate waves, all right, through the cosmos, all right? This is when you then begin to notice plasma light ships. You begin to have deja vu experiences. You begin to see orbs. This is because when we increase our electromagnetic aura field, we also increase our access to the electromagnetic spectrum. I do have the copper magnetic bracelets available on Holistic Remedies link in bio. These are just some of the ways we properly prepare for cosmic light code integration while simultaneously tapping into divine extraterrestrial epigenetic storage. For all high quality herbs and metaphysical products for spiritual elevation, click the link in my bio and visit Holistic Remedies, your extension to Ascension.